We're at USANA Live. It is. We come together to celebrate not only what we've accomplished over the past year, but also to share with you the knowledge, understanding, and inspire you to live USANA, so you can become an even better you. We have some amazing things in store for you over the next 3 days, so get excited! Be open, listen, and believe. Believe that you are with the strongest company at the right time. Believe in the amazing future we have ahead of us. Now, this may come as a huge surprise, but you and I, we have something in common. You see, we have similar values. Now, you're probably thinking, Kevin, I'm not in the band. I don't play an instrument. I would never be on the Dr. Oz show, nor could I see myself writing a book. Well, I want you to know that's okay. The truth is, all that stuff doesn't really matter. What is important is that I'm trying to be a person dedicated to faith, family, and USANA, just like you. I just happen to play an instrument or two. Maybe some of you do. Another thing that we have in common is that we are CEOs of a business. Mine just happens to be USANA. Yours is your own business. A CEO is a lot of things, but mostly there's someone who inspires others to believe in and live the vision they're working so hard to create. They also help others achieve their goals. A chief executive officer, as chief executive officer of USANA, I constantly strive to be of service to every group in the company, whether it's our executive management team, our employees, our shareholders, or most importantly, all of you. While greatly rewarding, this can be also a challenge. Not only are there lots of different interests to balance, but there are plenty of legal, moral, and ethical considerations that need attention as well. Being an effective CEO starts with understanding. Understanding who we serve and why. At USANA's Global Convention in 2018, I released a book called All the Right Reasons. In it, I mentioned you need to be ready for opportunities that come your way. One of the principles outlined in the book is the Hope Diamond Principle, where good things come to those who are prepared. Yes. You can't depend on luck. You need to be ready for what's to come. So that's why we're here at USANA Live, to better understand USANA's vision to create the healthiest family on earth and what that vision means to your business. It also means being proactive to learn how to improve your relationships and to seek and explore more personal growth. I want you to think about, just for a minute, what is something that you wanted to have happen to you as you attended this event? If you don't know, think about it. And then make sure that happens, because if something doesn't change in you, this whole experience is a waste of time. It requires change. That's the way you'll be ready when new opportunities come your way. A clear vision is what brings success. USANA's vision is to be the healthiest family on earth. Our motivation is to share the message of true health with the world. And what's true health? It means living a life in harmony. But how do we live a life in harmony? It begins with the simple question, do you know who you are? Now, that might seem like an odd question. Maybe it's something you've never considered. Let me explain why it is important. We live our lives by a set of values. Your core values are what drive your actions and behavior. This is not a new idea. In fact, long ago, the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, we acquire a particular quality by consistently acting in a particular way. This speaks to the very heart of values. They represent who we are. Our core values guide our very being. Values are our guiding principles. They're our North Star. Values get us where we want to go. They define who we want to be. They guide us in the actions we will take to fulfill our destiny. As CEO, I found that a foundation of solid values is not only helpful, it is essential. For example, when you always tell the truth, you become an honest person. It's as simple as that. But all too often, we underestimate the importance of values. They form the foundation of our character. They impact who we are and what we're about. And because you have to live with yourself and the actions you take, your values should be one of the most important things in your life. John C. Maxwell sums it up best. When values, thoughts, feelings, and actions are in alignment, a person becomes focused and character is strengthened. Let me share with you one example about living with core values that really stuck with me. It's an experience I had with one of the Beatles, Ringo Starr. Anybody heard of the Beatles? Good. I hope so. It's not a secret that I grew up a huge Beatles fan. My siblings and I would play records, we'd wear wigs, and we'd look in the mirror, and we'd sing songs, and we would just love the Beatles. In fact, come to think of it, I still want to be a Beatle, actually. Yeah. The Beatles not only had a huge impact on my life, they changed music, influenced culture, and remain one of the most legendary groups in nearly 6 decades of history. A few years ago, I traveled to the Beatles' home of Liverpool, England. It was like walking on sacred ground for me. After this experience, I made it my lifelong goal to meet the surviving members of the group. And it happened. My lucky opportunity came when I met the drummer, Ringo Starr. I was in Las Vegas, and they had a few of us come back into a room, and we were back in this back room together, and the tour manager came in the room, and he said, okay, here are a few rules. When Ringo comes in the room, don't shake his hand. He doesn't want to shake hands. He'll do a fist bump. Don't ask to take pictures. Stand there very politely, and then quickly move out of the room. And then the tour manager, after he gave us those simple instructions, he said, now I'm going to go get Ringo. An interesting thing happened. Next to me was a man who was a drummer, who'd been a drummer all his life. And he literally was doubled over going, okay, you can do this. You can do this. And he was starting to hyperventilate because he knew one of the Beatles was going to walk into the room. There was a woman standing over in the corner, and she was having to be fanned off because in was going to walk one of the Beatles. Well, the door opens. I was the first in line, and in comes Ringo. Ringo Starr, one of the Beatles. What does he do? He walks up to me, arms extended, and gives me a big hug. How do you think I felt? He grabbed me by the shoulders and he asked me how I was doing. He looked me in the eye, and we had for a few minutes a very meaningful interaction. Now, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of famous people, but somehow, to my surprise, Ringo was different. Of all the things he could have done, or all the ways he could have behaved, he chose the power of treating people with kindness, respect, and warmth. He was the person he wanted to be. And everyone who met Ringo not only walked away feeling good about themselves, they felt pretty good about Ringo as a person too. Certainly, one of Ringo's core values is relationships. By the way, I was thinking about, okay, what am I going to say to Ringo when I have a chance to talk to him? And I've followed the Beatles' history very closely. And one thing that Ringo has been above any of the other members of the band was he was always a good friend. And when John was killed, when George came down with cancer, Ringo was the first one that was there at their bedside and there to console and help them. And I was able to say to him, thank you for being a good friend, which I'm sure is something he probably had never heard before, someone meeting him. But I could tell that one of his core values was relationships because of how we interacted. That experience resonates with me to this very day and shows the power of strong core values. Without a doubt, it made me think about and gain a deeper connection to my own core values. Faith, family, service, gratitude, and honesty. Those are my core values that make up Kevin Guest. Those are my North Star. They guide me in how I want to live my life, how I want to treat others, and how I want to help focus and help them help me make good choices. I knew I could get that out. If you've not taken the time to think about your values and have written them down, there's probably a good chance that you don't know who you are. Think about that. Because knowing your values brings clarity to your life. So think about what's most important to you. What do you see in others that inspires you? How can you motivate others? Values give you that power, but first you really need to know who you are. Now, what do values have to do with USANA? I would say everything. Values drive who we are and what we do at USANA. We are guided by 4 core values. Those values are excellence, integrity, community, and health. Okay, everybody say that with me. Right? Excellence, integrity, community, and health. You should know those. You should be teaching those to your teams. You need to know who USANA is. You need to understand what our core values are as a company and see how they fit into your life. They shape who we are, what we do, and truly, they're the heart and mind of USANA. Let me explain. First, excellence. Excellence is the confident pursuit of the highest quality. It also means excelling, never staying still, always striving to be better. At USANA, we do not rest on our accomplishments. Instead, we build upon them to always be the best we can be and set new standards as a leader in our industry. Excellence is about demanding more of ourselves. It's about making the right choices over and over and over again, especially when no one else is looking. One key concept related to the value of excellence is understanding the idea of relevance. Our goal at USANA is to always be relevant. The goal is not only difficult to get, it's also difficult to remain that way as our world continues to get more and more complex. As you see from the graphic here, there are multiple points along the relevance curve, moving from prominence to irrelevance and worse, becoming obsolete. As a company grows, it becomes prominent. It's recognized as an industry leader, or it's a brand that's very popular in the minds of its consumers. But then, consumers' interests change, which means the business needs to shift along the spectrum. And unfortunately, many businesses are slow to catch up to this fact and head in the wrong direction towards irrelevance. All too often, businesses decide to rest on what made them successful in the first place, refusing to make changes, and quickly find themselves on the endangered species list. This curve not only refers to us as a company, but to you, your relationships, and your USANA business. I want to ask you a question. How relevant are you? An interesting thing happened to me not long ago. I'm now a grandpa, 6 grandchildren. I have 4 children. I've been married 35 years. A few years ago, I came home, and on the desk was the book, The 5 Love Languages. My wife had purchased this book, and she said to me, "Kevin, you're not the same person I married 30 years ago. We've changed a lot. And I want the next 30 years to be even better than the last 30 years." What she was saying to me is, I want us to remain relevant to each other because we change. And you know what? I read the 5 Love Languages book. After 30 years of marriage, I didn't know my wife's love language. You see, I was showing her love the way I like to receive love. I found out that her love language is service. So now what do? I do the dishes a little bit, take out the trash, clean the floor, and I've scored big points. Because that is speaking to her in a way that she likes to receive love. By me learning that, after 30 years, I become more relevant to what is, besides faith, to me, the most important thing in my life. So I ask you, are you relevant in your personal relationships? Are you relevant to your friends? And are you relevant in the business world and the business of USANA? Big question. Because the worst thing that can happen is for us to become irrelevant either to our close relationships and or as we're trying to build a business. And that's something you're going to hear about over the next several days, is USANA trying to stay relevant in a very, very, very fast-paced changing world. So we want to talk about relevance, but we want to most importantly stay off the road to irrelevance by recognizing 5 factors that negatively affect companies and affect people personally. We can all avoid extinction by paying attention to what makes us present and sustain relevance, not only in our USANA business, but in life in general. That's why the value of excellence is so important. It ensures we constantly work on ways to do things better, which you'll see come to life throughout USANA Live over the next few days. It's also why you see significant announcements to USANA to keep us on the side of prominence, where all our efforts throughout the business are focused on a strong and strategic customer experience. The way we create lasting relationships that deliver simple solutions, rewarding products, and positive feelings with every interaction. And you're going to see and hear more about that over the next few days. So I want you to remember, we want to stay relevant. You'll gain a deeper insight of how we're doing things tomorrow morning. That was excellence. Now, let's talk about another USANA core value, integrity. Integrity is behavior that demonstrates sincerity. It's the value that reinforces all other values. Much like excellence, integrity is about being consistent in what we say and what we do. But more important, it's about keeping our word. Integrity is the glue that holds things together and builds trust at every level of relationships with customers, employees, vendors, suppliers, and you, our associates. Now, in return, I, as the CEO, we as a management team expect you to operate with integrity. That is an expectation to do things right, to be honest, to follow the policies and procedures that are set forth in the company, to try and always do things that are right. Integrity is something I and we expect you to own as well as we do as a company. Living with integrity shows what we value. It means everything we say and do are a true reflection of what's important. So, ask yourself, do you actively demonstrate to others what you value? Are you honest and committed? And are you spending time with the right kind of people? Or are you focused on something else? Integrity also has a direct effect on the relevance curve. That's why we must always remember success can come and go, but integrity is forever. A reputation built on integrity takes years to create, but only seconds to lose. At USANA, we are committed to never allow ourselves to do anything that would damage our integrity. We will always have the courage to do the right thing, no matter what the consequences are, every time. That's integrity. Another key USANA value is community. Community is more than just kindness and connecting to others. It's a value that takes on greater purpose of making us more than just individuals, where instead together we unite to even greater things. And at its very core, community is all about giving rather than receiving. One of the best things about USANA is how each one of us has the freedom to be in control of our own lives. It's where you, as a self-made CEO, can begin nothing and build something that's long-lasting and sustainable for generations to come. And when you succeed in fulfilling that goal, there's no better feeling. I believe all of us want to share our success with others, and that's the power and value of community. This value is illustrated by the Holland Principle, where we find opportunities to serve and act. Each of us has great capacity to help others and improve the quality of people's lives. It's even more powerful when we do it together as a community. All too often, we spend our time focused on getting rather than giving. Living a life of service, focusing on what we can give rather than get, can change the world around us in positive ways. And within our community, it has the power to create strong relationships and build greater friendships. It gives us the opportunity to learn about sacrifice and service and why giving is important. The feelings and emotions you gain in return are indescribable, and they're life-changing. Nothing demonstrates the value of community more than our commitment to the USANA True Health Foundation. Watch this video. For your continued support of the good that's happening with the USANA True Health Foundation. There are so many children and families in this world that face constant struggle. The overwhelming effort for the hope of just one meal a day means more to families who have to resort to rummaging through garbage than you could ever imagine. Food is something some of us simply take for granted. That's why giving is so important, because all of us as a community can make a significant impact through the True Health Foundation. It's the way we at USANA can live by your and our values and make a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. We have a great opportunity here as a community at USANA Live. Not only can we guide the future success of USANA as a business, we can give assistance to others in building a happier and healthier life. What we do here together has the potential to change the future of so many. It's why I encourage you to visit the True Health Foundation booth while you're here. There you will learn how you can help with very special projects that feeds children recovering from human trafficking, something that no child should ever have to experience. And while you're there, give some of your time to pack some meals. If you've always wondered how you can help, this is your opportunity. I need to tell you, giving back and being service to others is one of my personal values. It's the reason why 8 months ago, when I released my book, I made the decision to donate all the proceeds for the goal of raising over 1 million meals for the True Health Foundation. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we are over 700,000 meals already created through book sales, which donated to the True Health Foundation. But there's still work to do. Every book you purchase at this convention provides 40 meals to hungry children. Please visit the USANA True Health Foundation booth today and show that we at USANA live what it means to be the healthiest family on earth. Now, there's one more USANA core value I'd like to talk about, and that's health. The vision of creating the healthiest family on earth is just not about sharing USANA's products or talking about optimal health, although that's important. It's also about demonstrating what it means to live an active, healthy lifestyle. Educating others that they can still make health a priority, no matter how busy life gets. It's amazing to get to show others the true value of optimal health. And keep in mind, health is much more than just physical aspect. Emotional wellness also has a direct impact on the quality of your health. Managing stress and positively facing life's challenges have a direct effect on your overall well-being. Think about it. What other business gives you the opportunity to live knowing that every day the majority of your time benefits others while improving your own health? Lastly, here's one more thing that emphasizes the value of health. It's the strong bond of family, friends, and having a support system in place. Over the course of my life at USANA, there's been one person besides Dr. Wentz I've connected with and come to rely on not only as a great friend, but as a vital life coach and mentor, Dr. Dennis Waitley. I'm very sorry to say that this is the very first USANA event that he has ever missed. And he really misses all of you. That's why he's created a series of 5 special messages you'll hear throughout the event. They will be available for you to download and share with others, or perhaps give you an extra jolt of healthy motivation when you need it. Starting with this one, here's a short clip from my good friend, Dr. Dennis Waitley.
Hi, this is Dennis Waitley. I've been a spokesperson for the company for more than 25 years. At conventions and events in virtually every market, I've shared my insights on what makes USANA the best in its class. Namely, the vision of our founder, the science-based products that continue to lead the nutrition industry, and the quality and integrity of the associates, managers, and support staff worldwide. But on September 5th, 2018, my life changed forever. During an elective heart procedure, a surgical accident caused massive internal bleeding that was life-threatening, and I've experienced the most challenging health issues imaginable for over 6 months. Fortunately, as a result of Dr. Wentz's vision and generosity, I was able to fight the recurring infections and setbacks during several months of intensive therapies at Sonovive Medical Center. This experience has offered me the time and motivation for a reality check on how I spend my time for the rest of my life. With your permission, I'd like to put my mentor's hat on and share some ideas throughout this event that I hope will make you even more optimistic, more focused, and more dedicated to achieve authentic fulfillment. During my months at Sonovive, facing my own mortality, I re-examined my why, my goals, and my priorities. It dawned on me that I'd fallen into the trap that most people find themselves in for much of their careers. Lecturing globally on helping others live successfully, I unknowingly was trying to gain the approval of others and gain recognition for being someone special among the masses. In other words, I became a status seeker, while I believed myself to be a true servant leader. This desire for recognition is natural and is a major incentive for growing your USANA business. We all go through a process of learning and building before we can harvest the rewards of our efforts. So I'm not suggesting that you forget about being all you can be and taking your USANA business as high and as far as you possibly can. But each of us should live in the moment rather than for the moment. Living for the moment most often is associated with celebrities who thrive on their own momentary popularity. But living in the moment is what Olympians do during competition. To them, the past is history, and tomorrow's a mystery, still unborn. It is only in this precious moment that the future is decided. So here is key lesson number 1 that I would share with you. You never make a future decision, only a current decision that determines your future. Each thought and action every day changes the direction of your life. What each of us is doing this minute is the most important event in history for us. We've decided to invest our resources in this opportunity rather than in any other. As with health, time is one of our most precious resources. Thanks for listening.
I recently spoke to Dennis, and he wanted me to send his love to all of you. He loves his USANA family. And he's a good man. He represents the values that I've been talking about. And I'm pleased to call him my friend and mentor. And I believe personally in the power of prayer. And all the good vibes we can send to Dennis. He's on the path of recovery. He's doing great. Hopefully all of you will see him in August at our international convention. But however you call on additional help from whatever resource, might be nice to throw a little Dennis's direction, just to help him in his recovery. So, how do all these values come together? Simple. It comes back to living a life in harmony. See, when we listen to music, music is just sound waves. It's just air that's being moved in a direction. And when that air is moved a certain way, and then you move air and it's moving like this, it creates what's called harmony. When it's not congruent, when those waves are not congruent, it creates what's called dissonance. And in our lives, sometimes we have dissonance. We're not in harmony. Other times, we are in harmony and we know what that feels like. As we live our values and put these values into practice, our lives become a life in harmony. I believe what brings us all together is what I call in the book the Journey Principle. Success is about the experiences you have, the relationships you build, and the lessons you learn. It's why I'm so grateful to be with you here at USANA Live. Use this tremendous opportunity to learn, build strong relationships, and enjoy the memorable experiences you'll have throughout the event. Focus your attention on being present and keeping a positive attitude. And with everything we do here, let's live in the moment and not miss out. USANA family, let's make the most of our values and our moments together. And I have a challenge for you. I want you to make a new friend over the next 3 days. Will you accept that challenge? Yes. Meet somebody that you don't know now and leave with a new friend. That will change your life if you will do that. Now, those of you who said yes and accepted that challenge, I expect you to follow through with that challenge, okay? Now, it's my honor to introduce to you someone who's made most of his life to benefit all of us. We've come a long way since the very first USANA convention. As you can see at the first USANA convention, that's it. You'll see the banner held up with duct tape in the back. The AV equipment is a pull-up screen. And all of the sound and AV equipment at the very first USANA convention fit in my car. We've come a long way since then, haven't we? Yes.